The release of the RTX 3080 has also brought on the release of Nvidia Broadcast. And this brings in a lot of tools that streamers can find super useful. We're going to be checking it out today. Real quick, if you're new around here and are into PC tech, hardware, gaming, stream tips, tutorials, news, and reviews, you are in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and that bell so you don't miss a single upload. And we'll see you when I stream on Twitch if you want to go over there and follow as well. That's at twitch.tv/Coalition Gaming Crew every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific. So yeah, anyways, let's get to the video. When RTX Voice came out a while back, it was a big deal for streamers as far as bringing down background noise for your microphone that you might have. Also for incoming things through your sound, but it was a little less useful that way. Still very useful, but not as much as like how streamers would want it for use with the microphone. My video on that covered how effective it was, and you could probably hear this noise pretty good, or if you're typing at the keyboard, you could definitely hear keyboard taps, especially if you have a condenser microphone. But you go ahead and turn the filter back on, and here I am tapping again. You can see my hands moving on the microphone, and you probably can't hear them anymore. Now I'm going to go to typing loudly. I'm still typing. I'm still going at it. And it's not picking it up. But it does come at a little bit of a cost of the vocal quality, but as well a little bit of a performance hit. Less performance hit if you have an RTX enabled graphics card, but it ended up being usable on all or any graphics card from I think the 600 series and up, which made it super awesome. It did need a workaround back then in order for it to work on non-RTX graphics cards. However, Nvidia has now unlocked it for not needing any workaround, so you guys can use it with any, I think, 600 series and up graphics card. But your mileage may vary, as that version of it is no longer going to be supported. Their support is going to be going into the Nvidia Broadcast. Nvidia Broadcast was talked about a while back. The first time that I saw it was at TwitchCon 2019. I remember checking out their booth and seeing the green screen removal features. I didn't realize that they're going to integrate RTX Voice into it, so that's a nice bonus. And then now they have stuff like face tracking, which is super cool, but it kind of gimmicky, but it is a really nice feature because it auto frames your face and you can adjust zoom on it. Useful, sure. I remember talking with Harris Heller at TwitchCon about this, and we were both really excited for it because, well, this is right up our alleys in terms of the content we produce and the stuff that we do on stream. I've talked about a similar program called XSplit VCam, video up to here as well, by the way, and that was for background removal. And to be honest, I used it to stream for, I don't know, maybe a year. It worked really well, and whether you're just blurring the background out a little bit, replacing your background, or just deleting it altogether, it worked good enough. I didn't notice too much of a hit in games, so hey, I used it for a long time, but I got a much more interesting background setup now, so I don't need to use it as much. However, today I'm going to be demonstrating it with you guys, downloading it and running through it. First time user, come on down with me. It's really weird that it took so long to come out after all this, by the way, but well, it's here, so yeah, let's get to it. So here we are at my desktop. All you got to search is Nvidia Broadcast, and you get these results. It's actually not going to be the first result, although the first result can get you to where you need to. You're going to go down to the broadcast app download result, second result, I guess, technically, and you click that, and here it is, Nvidia Broadcast. Just click your download button there and hit save file. So it's downloading. It's not that big of a file. What is that, 233 megabytes? That's not terrible. So it'll be done in just a second here. Now, they do recommend rebooting your computer after installing it. I'm just going to YOLO it and make sure, and just to test it out to show you guys. Okay, so the download completed. I'm installing it right now, and yeah, there, as you can see, it's doing its thing. So once the installer comes up, just go ahead and do agree and all that stuff. A quick note before you do go and install this is if you have RTX Voice, uninstall it. This is going to take over that. You don't need to do that. Just get rid of that, then get this. Okay, the installer has completed. Going to click close. It's going to launch. So there we go. Launching it right now. Discord might pop up saying that it detects new devices. Don't change anything there. We're going to be working on it through here. Okay, so here I have it at the center of the screen. As you can see, we have several tabs: camera, speakers, and microphone. Microphone is going to represent the RTX voice that you had probably heard about from previous videos, or just, you know, what I mentioned earlier. And you can add different effects to it, but the one that they have right now is just noise removal. That's the primary thing that it's used for. So you want to select your microphone source here. In my case, it's my Sound Blaster K3 Plus, and then noise removal. And here you can adjust the strength of that. Now, the higher the strength you adjust, and then the more background noise there is, the harder it will work. The harder it will be an impact on your system, because it's got to use more resources because it's working harder, and the worse you're gonna sound through the microphone. But it is going to remove that background noise, and so they provide a little tool right here where you can record your own sample to hear how the noise removal improves that clarity. So here I am just talking right now, and noise removal is to the max. I'm gonna spam the keyboard. Hit the desk. Here I'm just like tapping on the keyboard, hitting the desk, and yeah, I mean, I've already done this demonstration. Stop, and then let's play that. So here I am just talking now, and noise removal is to the max. I'm gonna spam the keyboard, and of course it's doing its thing. You can't hear anything banging around in the background. Here I'm just like, yeah, it's definitely useful. You can adjust the strength to however you might like it based on how it sounds, but that's RTX voice. So, or what rather, I guess, RTX voice built into Nvidia Broadcast. Moving on to speakers, here is where you would want to be able to filter incoming audio. So you would want to select your default audio device here. Now this is where it can get a little tricky, because your default audio device would be all noise, and if it deems anything coming in as background noise or something worth filtering, it's going to get rid of it, and you may not be able to hear everything. So if you had a setup where you had, let's say, Discord selectable as its own source here, or your audio running through a certain a certain output that's separate from your main output, that's the one you would want to select. Because if, let's say, it's for voices, you're listening to a conference, a teacher, or just friends in Discord that have really bad microphones or in a noisy environment, you can turn RTX voice on, the noise suppression stuff here for that device, for that incoming signal, speakers, whatever it is, and it will clean that signal up for you. Or you can just tell them, go install RTX voice on their computer, and then you don't got to deal with this part of it. Whatever you want to do. They also have a way to check out samples as far as how to sound with this turned on, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave that. Again, you can also do the strength adjustment here and all that. So let's go back to here and turn this off because I was not going to be using it for now. Okay, now let's check out the camera, well, beta, but the camera section of it. So there I am, my Sony a5100 through my capture card. Here's the thing with this portion of how Nvidia Broadcast works. Blackmagic capture cards and any capture card that does not show up in Windows as a UVC device that can't just open up like a camera app and it's automatically picking it up to the capture card won't work here. You want something that should just work by default as soon as you plug it in, and or USB webcams, of course, anything like that, and that will work. See right here, Blackmagic WDM capture unsupported. Livestreamer cam is my USB webcam. That's back up there, and then CA chart is my USB 3.0 capture card, and there we go. So another little caveat with this is right now you're only able to use one thing at a time. As you can tell here in the effects, it only lets you select one. So let's just run through them real quick. You'll be able to see here in the smaller window, but also in the bigger window. Background blur, let's turn that on. I already have a little bit because of my camera, but now we're going to go even harder with it. Now check that out. Yeah, like that's a major separation. And the cool thing with this is it works very well. Like it doesn't look like I'm getting mixed into the blurred background. To me, it just works. which is super useful because if you want to make a webcam look better, you could do this effect. This is making a actual mirrorless camera look better. Look at the difference when I turn it off, right? That looks good. And then you turn that on, and if you're somebody who just happens to like that kind of look, it does look good. Now, you can see some part of it where it's sort of missing, and it's right here over my shoulder. It doesn't seem to be blurring that part out, which I find a little odd. You see it now, it did kind of blur it a little bit, but that's one thing. Like if I move around, there we go. Now it's covered up and it looks better. But if I'm going over here, yeah, now it understands. But where I was here, there it is. Now it's coming back and it's looking clear again. So definitely this is something that's still a work in progress. So I'll leave a link down in the description below if you guys wanted to submit more stuff to train the AI on it. I do believe it's available through the website as well if you wanted to help contribute to it. But yeah, anyway, so let's check out another one of the features. Background replacement. Now this is kind of cool because I used to do background replacement with like an arcade background looking thing. So let me see if I can pull that up for you guys. And I always like making myself look like I was in an arcade like this in my old streams. However, the XSplit VCam also let me do a slight blur to it as well. So let me see if I go up here. Yeah, no, I can't do both. So yeah, I'm sure that's going to be added later on, but yeah, that's how that looks. Now you can see it's struggling a little bit because this is a little more of a complex feature when it comes to background replacement and all that without a green screen or anything like that. That light behind me that's going RGB is definitely not helping. And when it comes to doing any kind of effects like this, whether you have a green screen or whether you're doing it this way, you want as much light on you as possible so that the camera and the software can help, it can differentiate you versus the background. That's ultimately what's important. Now, if I have a dark background behind me and I'm wearing dark clothes like this is what's going to happen. That's why you see the my microphone is also getting keyed out because it's dark. It also looks like basically the dark background behind it. That's a problem. Bright colors on dark backgrounds, it'll probably work pretty good. Or dark colors on bright backgrounds, whatever the case. So that is the background replacement functionality. And let's try background removal, just straight up turn it on, boom, kind of what it was doing earlier. And again, that RGB light back there is really messing it up. Better lighting is a must if you're going to be using features like this, so make sure that you have pretty good lighting all around you. Last one, and this one was the more interesting one, is auto frame. Now auto frame is nice because it will follow you around in the frame. Let me turn that on. So right now says zoom is turned up just a little bit, and you can even see it in my box right there. If I'm just here and I'm talking and I want to move around, it will follow me just like that. This is a pretty cool feature because, you know, that's how it works. But if I zoom all the way out, it doesn't work that well because it needs to crop in order to be able to basically scan it within the frame. So you have to have some degree of zoom, so whether that is comfortable for you or not, there you go. But like you see, a little bit of zoom doesn't hurt, and it seems to work pretty good. My thing with some of these is with features like this, because I remember Logitech webcams had features like this, is you can just move your head a little bit and the frame will move around. So I can't look, you see that? I'm looking down, and now the camera is going down. I'm looking up, camera is going up. I can just shake my head a little bit and it will adjust by itself. Now, this has been a turnoff for me with this sort of technology, this sort of software, is that starts to get a little jarring if you're not paying attention. Because if you're somebody that's playing a game and you're moving around a lot, your head is moving around, the frame is going to be changing around and it could be unsettling. However, if you were to set this up where you could basically key it, like push a key and it turns it off and on, and I believe you can, I believe that's how Epos Vox demonstrated it, then it's actually super cool, because no matter where you're at when you turn it on, your face is in frame. So let's say I want to do a dramatic punch in, And it's just like, hey everybody, but you know about that joke, right? Right? And so it won't matter where my head is at, because let's say I'm just out of position and it wouldn't show up right if I did it like I normally do in Discord, where it's in a very fixed position. If I happen to be off to the side a little bit, and I'm just going to be like, ha, head still in frame. If I go over here, do the thing again, head still in frame. This is my favorite part about it. If I could do like a one-time boom and then a one-time boom whenever, like, to be able to turn off and on, that's probably the best way to use it in my opinion. That's probably what I would do. Now you can make your changes to your camera and stuff here, resolutions and things of what it's picking up from your capture card, but once you have this running, it's not exactly easy to change your camera settings in software through OBS. It's a little bit more limited, but let's bring it down here. Let me show you guys something real quick. So the way I got this into OBS, and now you guys have probably seen the infinite loop, is once you have the broadcast camera app selected, you select your main camera in OBS, just like this, just like you're seeing. You have to select the Nvidia Broadcast as the camera, not your capture card or USB camera. And then here, you know, if you do configure video, that usually comes up in the background somewhere. Nothing happened. So yeah, you want to configure your camera and everything as best as you can first, then activate broadcast, and then add it in OBS. And you can see here, camera, Nvidia Broadcast. There you go. Now the same thing applies to your microphone source if you're using Nvidia Broadcast. Your microphone source right here, microphone Sound Blaster K3 Plus. No, you want to use the Nvidia one right here, microphone Nvidia Broadcast. And that is how it will, that is how turning the RTX voice on in Nvidia Broadcast will make it work in OBS or any program that you're using. You select the camera, you select Nvidia Broadcast camera, Nvidia Broadcast for the microphone, and Zoom, Discord, OBS, XSplit, any of that. And that's how you get it to work in those programs. Cool thing about Nvidia Broadcast though is if you want to turn it off and on the fly, you don't have to bring up the software. You just go down to your tray, right click on it, and check them like that. See, I just right click onto the microphone effect. Now I'm turning it back off. Speaker effects, camera effects, you can just click it and turn it off and on right there. So if something starts acting up with it, you can just turn it off and on right there. Now you may ask yourself, does this have any impact on your games? Well, yes. your gaming performance might suffer a little bit. Now if you're playing games like Valorant or CSGO, something that you already get a ton of FPS in, League of Legends, some not so demanding games, then it's not that big a deal if you're giving up a little bit of performance to make your stream better, right? Compromises have to be made. Not everything comes free of cost, whether that be financial cost or system cost. This does cost us some resources, and it can cause games to act up. EPOSVox had some problems with Broadcast Engine Broadcast and Call of Duty, streaming Call of Duty Modern Warfare with it. And I'm sure other people will be running into similar issues. Some games may not like this running. That makes it nice that it has that little quick toggle in the tray that you can turn off and on, but it's still, like I said, it's still a work in progress. So make sure that you go to, I believe, the website. Again, I'll leave it link down in the description below to help if you want to help contribute to it. I believe the hit can be up to around 20%. So if you're on a budget system and you're streaming and you're trying to use these features and it's just costing you too much performance, yeah, you might not be able to use this software, but you won't know until you try, and it's free, so why not? It's awesome to see companies putting out tools that are specific to help streamers, content creators, and all sorts of things where this would be useful, especially in today's distance learning COVID world, where people are doing work from home, video conferences, all sorts of stuff like that, where this doesn't just benefit the streamer, it benefits people at work, people getting their education, and all sorts of stuff like that. Thank you, Nvidia. Looking forward to your further refinements on this software. And yeah, I guess that just about covers it for me today. My name is Chris. I've been your stream technician, and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you like this video. Drop a comment down below. Let's talk about it. And we got a lot more videos right over there, I think. Yeah, they're right over there. Related videos, check it out. RTX 3080 review, all sorts of good stuff. All right, everybody. Bye-bye now.